Hello, this is Dave, and welcome to Equity Story. I'm with the Wolf, and just say general share advice and not personal advice. Wolfie, unbelievable moves we're seeing in these commodities, and you know what they call Australia the lucky country, and I always used to wonder why.
Mhm.
Well, I always knew why when you look at the beaches, but you know the commodities we've got here are really setting us uh, sort of, I know, aside from the rest of the world to a degree. I mean, incredible moves on commodity prices overnight, and you know, luckily for us, again, coal at 32%. So our coal trades, you know, our war trades, coal doing really well, and crude up 7%. You know, it's with sort of you keep taking a breather, looking at these commodity prices
Mm.
go up, don't you? And the part of you is like so excited and thinking, great, look at these companies going to make a fortune, and then the other part is sort of wondering how much our interest rates are going to be going up towards the second half of the year, how bad the inflation is going to be.
So
But
on one shoulder, it's going, yay. On the other shoulder, goes, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
yeah, I know, I know. But I mean, look at it like nickel again, palladium, zinc. You know,
Yeah,
you name it.
yeah,
This is absolutely the rocketing. And you know, when we look at it again, we go on the war stocks or the war stocks, the S32s. So
hmm
maybe a week ago you're looking at these thinking you think, okay, I'm happy if I hit $5. Now you're thinking my stop loss is below $5.
hmm
You know we put Rio on as a trend. It paid a dividend. It's actually paid a dividend. Sorry, BHP as a we put BHP on. It's paid a dividend and it's
yeah.
back and it's at 50 and it looks like it's going higher. I mean
What
Rio,
an opportunity that was to buy it when it on the dividend.
I know, and look, Rio's looking good, and
Yeah.
obviously that the oil. So look at Santos.
Yes.
You know, and again, how that struggled, how that has struggled where I don't think it deserved to struggle that much, and now it's really going. And
Mm.
ORG, you know, if you look at the price action, you think ORG's got a little bit of catching up to do, wouldn't you?
It certainly does. But the thing is, how much time has it got to catch up? Because it's just
Uh,
not, always scared is when is this bubble going to burst?
Now, listen, we've hit our targets with a lot of these stuff, but it's a question. You've got a lovely opportunity now. Just lift that stop loss of Woodside just under 31 or under 30, maybe. Look at that, just under 30, and see if it can go. I mean, even the trade we put on yesterday, I think it's just hit the target. But I mean, you're not selling. You're just going to lift that stop loss, surely. Maybe that stop loss, move it to around that 270, 279. You know, look at AWC, GNC. Again, we saw wheat up again, 7% the day before last, 4% again last night. Um, and that looks like it's on the way to $10. You're just lifting your stop loss on these, right?
Yeah.
Elders, you know,
Sure.
The Zimplat's starting to go. You know, you're lifting your stop loss, aren't you? Just under 26. CRN, great move. Hot stock, 20%. All the hot stocks are actually 20%, 15% the last 3 weeks. And
Yeah.
CRN looking very, very good. Yeah.
Amazing. The hot stock. I have to hang on. I have to stop you here because I have to just congratulate us for the hot stocks. It's just been, it's almost like we're on the ball, very, very much so, right? It, the right theme at the right time. It's just been bang, bang, bang last 3 weeks. So well done.
Yeah, no, and look at Whitehaven. So again, Nick, we put down and we liked it. Nickel's up 3%, and that's starting to look very nice, that chart, Wolf. And you know what? If it can break out 170, it can target 180. It looks good. I think the only sort of slight downer for me
Yep.
was I thought the gold price could have done a little bit better last night, but it's
Yep.
still good. It's still holding up, right? So you know, you could lift your stop loss on AGG just maybe just under that 650 if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Um, ALK, yeah, I sort of, you know what, nice thing about ALK, it's more than just the gold price. It's obviously Boda and what could happen there. So, but again, maybe gold could have done a little bit better. It's maybe the only of those commodities. That's the only one maybe I could complain a little bit about. But like you said, Wolf, it's holding up really, 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 really
Yep.
well. And it's not just you know, where you're seeing momentum in stories, you know, equally the Einsteins in not just the material sector and not just the energy sector, which you expect to do well in this environment, but generally speaking, we're getting wins on the Einsteins. So if I actually have a look on the Einsteins, I just bring it up, Wolf, before we look at some of the other stories
Now,
today?
can I actually give you another story to possibly
Yeah,
get me
do
your excited as yet?
yeah, we'll do that in a second. But again, with the Einsteins, maybe stories we're not talking about enough, like CXL looking very, very good. MCR just going for it. So Einstein's sort of, LYC, just directing us where the momentum is, where, it's putting us into the right stories. Yeah. We had a win with IGN. I mean, that's had a fantastic move up. We've had big moves with REG. I mean, we had IHL. I said sell it. It's looking expensive, but the chart's still going up. But at least it's giving people a chance to get out of that if they're in it. VLS. To be honest, I think I'd be taking profits on these sort of stocks, right? The way they're moving, or at least lifting my stop, and PEXA, which just starting go. If PEXA can get over 20, then I'm going to get a little bit more excited. This little New Zealand NCM again looking very, very good. IGL, good little dividend play, it's sort of holding up. ABB looking okay, Wolf. So and even last week. So we're getting the right stories. Look at YAL. Bang! Look at that! Look at that! So Einstein's really doing its thing. Einstein's is picking the momentum, and Einstein's is hopefully getting people into the right stories. And like I said, if you ever have any problem trending Einstein's, just come do the Cincinnati course with me and you, and obviously that will help things.
Absolutely. To show you what it's done.
Yeah.
Show you the magic.
Now, Wolf, let's talk about some announcements today because it's interesting. And I think what's interesting for me, I don't know about you, is there's some move in, so a lot of these companies which are looking towards the end of COVID, the world getting back to normal. So, isn't it? It's ironic to say, just when we hope the world to get back to some sort of normality, obviously we've got all the issues in Ukraine, but interesting that the world is starting to look past COVID, and there's some sort of acquisitions happening in that space, and I'd like you to obviously talk about them. And the first one may be corporate travel.
Before we go on, can I just give you one? Just going back on that war stock thing.
Yeah.
Are you excited about it yet, Worley? Come on, give me your opinion. Well, are you excited yet on this chart?
Well, of course, it's in the right space, and now it's starting to break up, isn't it? A very, very solid story. All right. Pays a little bit of a dividend, and most probably a bit of a lagger, right?
It is a lagger.
Yeah, and
because it's not a let's call it a primary beneficiary of the oil price. It is a secondary. In other words, it will benefit out of, if the oilers are going well, they're going to probably spend money on expanding whatever, right? And these guys are going to come in. So it's a different way of playing it, but. I just wanted your opinion because I know we talked about it for the last 2 or 3 weeks and we just didn't quite do enough. Is that done enough for you yet?
Well, it's not the end of the week, Wolf, right? No. So I think we'll play the same thing, and I think if you look at on the daily, it's broken up, but you'd want to see a different. I think more of a candle, right?
Okay.
But certainly, I agree with you, Wolf. You've got to be excited, and you've got to have it on your watch list, haven't you?
For sure. Because the only that really want, like you said, laggard. It's maybe it's time it's come. We can push it from those sort of levels to $13-14. That would be nice. Anyway, I just want to digress slightly because it's the one that's been bothering me that it hasn't been actually moving, but it's finally starting to do so.
And you know what? I think the problem with it as well, it's I think it's not the stock that everyone immediately thinks I'm going to get into Worley to play oil. It's a sort of more intelligent people who have to work that out, and of course
don't say that.
Well. It's just a bit of a lag, yeah. It's just so anyway, Wolf. But it's great that after COVID, you're seeing some of these travel companies, entertainment companies. They're starting to try and pick up a few companies on the cheap, and expand. And corporate travel take over Hello World. Now, what do you make of that, Wolf? Script for script.
Yeah, that was announced long time ago. They were just waiting for some approvals from ACCC, which they said that they do not oppose the takeover, which is good. So that looks like it's going to go through. So pretty much looks like Hello World will be followed up by CTD.
Does it make you more interested in the company? Because I know you've always had issues about corporate travel. Does that sort of?
No.
No. Okay. All right.
I still prefer the other two plays. I prefer SiteMinder and I prefer SKO as the two in this space than a travel agent, really, because that's what they are.
Okay, all right. God, you sound so snobby when you say that. Oh, just a travel agent. They did
I don't get up from bed out of for travel agents.
All right. Now, would you get out of bed for ALG? Did you like their acquisition?
Look, I think three places in the US, in Colorado, I believe. I'm not a super huge fan of the company, and their good stuff, the growth stuff, is in the US, which I don't know much about. So for me, it's a risky stock. Trading only. Yes, it will definitely benefit out of the post-COVID, and we know that everything's opening up again. So for sure, there's a trade here, and obviously there is a trade going on at the moment. So ride it as long as you can.
Wolf, AVH, we were talking about this one yesterday. They came up with another neat little announcement today.
Yeah.
Could you expand on that one a little bit?
I wish I could, but I didn't quite catch it, to be honest. I did see they signed an agreement, I think, with a company to distribute. So basically, they get more sales out of their product. So that was good, but then the more details of it, I didn't quite catch that, Dave. So apologies for that, but it looked like pretty positive.
Yeah, well, it was an agreement with Premier to supply the resale systems to hospitals. Yeah, and but it's all good.
Absolutely.
It all helps sentiment. Eagle Mountain again, more stunning drill results. You know, some of those results, and I'll bring them over, Wolf, so we can have a look at them. Again, I mean, sort of, and why I like it, Wolf, there was both a resource extension, so outside the initial drilling, and infill. But some of the extension results, 30 meters at 2.5, 63 meters at 1.84. I mean, they've got some copper there on old Oracle Ridge. And again, some obviously the infill drilling, again, very, very strong, Wolf. Especially this at 45 meters at 162. So, Wolf, I've got a question. It's a mountain of copper. What do they do? What do they need to do to get the mums and dads interested to see the share price start breaking up above trend, Wolf, and start moving on with it? What does Eagle Mountain need to do?
I think as a shareholder, I'd be looking at, give me a plan to mine this bloody thing. I think that's what I'd be asking the company, and saying a clear plan of take advantage of these copper prices right now. If you've got a resource that you can put together for a feasibility study, do it and get it going. You just don't know where copper prices will be in the next 2 to 5 years. So when you know the iron's hot, basically strike, go with it, right? It's for me is take advantage.
Yeah, okay, and I think they are doing that. They are getting that underway. So, I'm sure they do listen to, I think, occasionally our podcast. So hopefully they'll get something out, Wolf. AZY. Now, it's sort of just looking sideways. Those drill results, very, very good. Those gold results, but Wolf, they were very deep in the ground, weren't they?
Yeah, and inconsistent as well, Dave. So you know, they were good, but it's hard to get them all together and sort of see what's going on. They probably going to have to keep drilling and drilling and drilling, right? They need to probably spend a lot of money drilling this out. They were good. They were a little bit deep. You know, have they got something possibly? Definitely Rio is interested in the area and so on. So it will take time for sure. But for me, you know, I think the chart pretty much says it all. I think it's sideways for the moment.
Wolf, MVP, a very interesting announcement. It was a little bit like Equity Stories. What is it? Green whistle gets the green light. A little bit naughty though, because I don't think it was a green light. It was actually, would you say amber?
Well, it was a green light, but for the phase 3 trial, right?
Yeah. And
unfortunately, if you are just a basic shareholder, when you see the green light, you think, oh, FDA approval. That's what first thing the thought comes to my head. But of course, it isn't, right? They've been waiting this for the next 2 years. So if you're a shareholder, of course you understand. But if you're not a shareholder, you might get confused with that green whistle gets the green light. You think FDA, oh my God, I got to get into this. So it's a little bit, I don't know, obviously the marketing from the point of view, but look, let's forget about that. That's just a very small thing. Great to see them finally getting the approvals to do phase 3. That's going to take them 2 years. and let's hope by then they've done all the work and the results are good, and they can get finally FDA approval, and share price will absolutely bolt, Dave, I'd say.
All right. Well, listen, good news for MVP. Obviously, it's not trending at the moment. It needs to do a little bit more. But not a green light. Like we said, it's amber. But green could be on the way.
Yes.
TLG, maybe one of the better graphite stocks, maybe the best one on the market at the moment. Just still needs to do a little bit more for me to get excited with it, Wolf. But I suppose graphite it's not the hot commodity or the hot commodity at the moment, is it?
Well, actually, Dave, I think we underplaying it. I think it does have something. There's an interesting Alivewire article today actually came out, right? They're looking at all these metals that are most impacted by new technology. And on top of the list, they've got tin, then lithium, then cobalt, then silver, then nickel. And graphite's number 7 or 8.
Oh,
that's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. So maybe we're underselling it slightly. I think actually graphite is quite important in this sense, in this new technology. So there should be probably more focus on this. And I don't mind Talga because it is probably one of the best graphite resources globally in Sweden. So one to watch 100% and on your watch list.
But is it fair to say the graphite price hasn't sort of just taken off like the other commodities yet?
The problem is with graphite, Dave, it is such a commodity that is very opaque market-wise. To be honest, I would struggle finding what the actual current price is.
That's annoying, isn't it?
It is annoying. It is annoying
because you can see why it doesn't trade. You don't get that sort of excitement it's not like we've seen coal prices up 32% and we're all excited. It's like it's sort of it's an annoying commodity like that. And there are a few more like that, Wolf, aren't there? Are some other commodities which are a little bit opaque how they trend. So anyway, you know what? Follow the charts. They don't lie, and the charts say not yet.
I'm sure we'll hear some announcements saying graphite prices are going up, and then we go, okay, it's going well. It's going well.
All right. Okay, Wolfie, RZI. Again, as soon as it broke trend, time to get out. Share prices don't lie. The funds under management obviously going lower due to this environment, which is totally understandable, of course.
Very understandable. I mean, they did, they put the blame on this Ukraine, Russia, which is completely understandable. You can see people are going to the sidelines and pulling money out of investments, and that's exactly what happened. It's a small move backwards, but it's a move nonetheless. So I think at the moment, Dave, I think it's probably going nowhere.
Wolf, I've got to have a little mention for iron ore, because iron ore just holding up really well. I mean, we talked about all the other commodities, and CIA, if you're in it, you're holding it. That price action so far this week looks very, 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 very good.
Yeah, iron ore with all the other commodities are going extremely well. So you've got to be on some of these trades. You really, if you are going to be trading, and if you are trading in this market, we've given you plenty of ideas. What's trending? So if you are trending, hopefully you are on one of these coal plays, or maybe on S32 or something like that, because that's going very well for us.
Definitely. On that note, Wolfie, listen, thank you very much, and thanks everyone for listening to X-Ray Story. And obviously, it's all about these war stocks at the moment, where the money is, and that's obviously that's where the trends are, and that's where it looks like you're going to make some.
I mean, from me, Dave, don't get out too early. Just keep moving those stop losses up. And the reason I say that is because sometimes the market overshoots by far, right? We've seen that with COVID, right? We've seen it with the tech boom, and then it had to come back strongly. So hold on as long as you can, and just move up with stop loss if it's still looking good.
Well, definitely, Wolf. It seems unfortunate to say, but why the war is in progress, you can't see much happening with those commodity stocks. I think why Ukraine is still under attack. These supply constraints are going to get worse and worse.
Yeah, you can't see them easing unless there is some sort of certainty what's happening with the war, right? That's what I'm thinking.
All right, everyone, lift those stop losses, and let's keep on going. And on that note, Wolf, thank you very much, and hasta mañana, Wolf, where we got live
tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Okay.
All right, thanks, Wolfie. Bye.
Yeah, bye.